Hey YouTube! So, I've been doing a lot of Westones recently, and I sold my blue one the other night. My Westone Spectrum SX, that was. This is one which was my favourite guitar for a good while, and it's been upstairs next to where the blue one was, wrapped in bubble wrap when I moved house, and I've not dug it out since. And now I'm kind of remembering why it was one of my favourite guitars. So this is a Westone Concord H2. The H I think is for humbuckers. This is a one-piece maple neck on this, which I think might be why it edges into being one of my favourite guitars. One-piece maple necks are just awesome. So that means that the skunk stripe in the back is actually a proper skunk stripe. You know, it's not just there for show. That's how they put the truss rod in, because it doesn't have a separate fingerboard. So this one is from 1983. You can tell by the serial number. It starts on a 3 for 83, or a 4 for 84, etc. This isn't the same. This is a Concord. This is basically the same shape as the Westone Thunder, I think. So this was before the Spectrum series came out. My pal, you've probably seen me do a video with the red Thunder bass, which is very similar to this. Shape wise anyway, it's pretty much, this was red when I got it. I painted it yellow, starting my joy of yellow guitars, and why don't you get very many yellow guitars, because they're awesome. This looks brilliant. I even, I think actually might have spent more on the strap. I've got a Beatles Yellow Submarine strap on it, and I bought Yellow Submarine stickers, and it's like, you know, my plan was to have like the windows on the Yellow Submarine with the 4 Beatles faces in it. I had them along there thinking that was going to look cool, but I just didn't like the look of it, so I peeled them off. This was going to be my Yellow Submarine guitar just because it's yellow, so I didn't bother with that. But this one is before push-pull pots were cheap enough, I think, for Westone to use them, so that it still has a couple of fancy switches, volume and 2 tones. I got this in a state. I actually bought this. I bought an SD Curly bass project from, I think it was Sterling. It's like it's a strange bass it was a bass, not a guitar version. The neck kind of comes into here, so it is a bolt-on neck, but the neck comes all the way to here, and you just get like bolts sort of, you know, on the back, sort of here and here somewhere. But it wasn't very nice. It might have just been the project, and maybe you do get nice ones. It was a Hondo as well. So I bought that, and it was just one of those things. This was sitting in the corner, and it was like, what's that? That's interesting. And the guy's wife was like, oh, we're just going to take it to the car boot sale. And I was like, well, you want to just buy it off you just now? So I got it for a pretty ridiculous price. It had some bad cracks in the body, which I've kind of sort of shown through again, but basically I glued them up, clamped it, and then painted the bastard yellow. It had the original, I'm not sure whether I replaced these knobs. These switches were both broken, so I think I replaced them, but I think I copied what was originally on them, so they do some funny things, which I'm about to work out what it is they actually do. I was playing this last night, but just not really paying attention to what it was doing. So this has got the switch on the top here. Yes, so I think that is a single coil. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? And that's humbucker. I will see if it works on. I assume it just colour splits both of them. So neck bucker, neck single coil. And do the same with the bridge, so that would be bridge bucker, bridge single. Yeah, so that's pretty easy, that's what that does. Right, and this one is a phase switch. This is the way these were originally wired. I think what it does is it knocks one of the coils of the bridge pickup out of phase. So it doesn't knock it out of phase with the other pickup, it knocks it out of phase with itself, because I think if you've got this, about to find out. Yeah, so you get the phase works when you're just on the one pickup. humbucker. Sorry. Single coil. Quite like it, the single. Rat pedal. Humbucker. Bridge. Phase. I've been moved on to my pie fuzz pedal. So I was at home in tune after I've been using that. This was actually in tune after having been wrapped up in bubble wrap for over a year. Right, 18 months. I'm still in tune. Good. Sound perfectly in tune. G's not quite right. I think I'm going to put some. I think I'll put some rub some pencil lead into the nut slots, because that's probably what's causing it to lose tuning. Yeah, so this, I really love this guitar. So this one will not be for sale, even though I sold the blue one. But as soon as I got this one, even though it was cheap and shit, and the idea was I was just going to fix it and sell it, as soon as I painted it yellow, started playing it, it made so much more sense. I know it's not a Telecaster, but it feels like one. Whereas I don't know if it's maybe just to do with, I don't know, the fact it's got two pickups instead of, I always felt the blue one was a bit more stratty. This is a bit more bitey. It's got the MMK 45 pickups. I think they were called the Hammer at this point. But they really work in this guitar. I would not change the pickups in this guitar. I don't know, something to do with, I don't know how much voodoo there is, and just maybe you get one guitar that's really good. But I've got no problem with these being wiry and thin like I thought the pickup was in the Raider there. And a wee bit the same in the Aria Urchin in the corner there, just whereas in this guitar they totally work. And the single coil, the dual coil split switch is fantastic, giving you your Telecaster sound. Plenty of bite. How's that not a telly? So the phase switch, in fact, I wonder, there does seem to be a slight difference. I've got a funny feeling what the phase switch is doing will, when I've got it coil split, it's changing which coil it is you're listening to. There's a wee bit of a difference, but not nearly as much of a difference as when you've got it in humbucker mode. And then you phase it. Yeah, I really like this guitar. does. Yeah, so Westone again. I mean, Westone, the Matsumoku ones are just fantastic guitars. I really need to get myself a Thunder guitar at some point. I keep seeing them. They're normally sort of, they kind of look like they're neck through. You know, the body's kind of the sandwich design, but they're not. I don't think only the top of the range ones are neck through. But they're very much this. I think this, the Concord, was kind of Westone's attempt at a Stratocaster, a Fendery type guitar, whereas I think a Thunder is more a Gibson-y type thing, whereas it's a bit more Fendery with the maple neck and the Strat trem on it, obviously. But I mean, it's a stunning neck on this. Actually, you could argue this, design-wise, this is a fantastic guitar. I think being yellow only makes it better. These pretty much, this one was red. I think they only came in red and black, possibly white. A white one would be quite nice. But the Concord's a funny one. So this is a Concord H2. So I think there's an earlier Concord. I've got a Concord base. It's a slightly different shape than this. It might be later though. I need to have a look at it. But there is other Concords. There's one that's kind of like it seems a bit fatter at the bottom, and a bit thinner here, sort of thing. Whereas this is basically just a thunder shape. But if you can still pick up these relatively cheap. This one's a bit rarer than the Spectrums. I think they made an awful lot more Spectrums, and I think maybe this one was only made for 1 year. I'm pretty sure because this is a Concord H. I think there's a Concord single coil with 3 single coils in it, which is pretty much the same. But I mean, can't knock the guitar. Fantastic. I mean, Matsumoto just make some of the best guitars in the world, and this one is one of the best ones I've come across anyway. I did a wee bit of fretwork on it just there. It was pretty dented, pretty well worn in, which is when I bought the guitar for absolutely sod all. It was well beat up, and then you look at the frets, and the frets are all worn down. You think, oh, somebody played this a lot. The reason was it's a fantastic guitar. Always be a wee bit wary if you buy a guitar that's maybe 35 years old or whatever it is, and there's no fretwear at all, and it's never been played. You just think, why has it never been played? Whereas this one clearly has been. Got some really nice big cracks in the neck as well going across the way. They're going to show up. I had to do some filler on it because there was big chunks out it and stuff. But I mean, it's not affected the way it plays because it plays fantastic. I was going to have a wee bit of a political rant at the end of this video, but I've now ran on for too long. I might do that next. I'm getting really pissed off with politics just now. I know I shouldn't be talking about it on my YouTube channel, but really, oh dear, things are bad. Basically, if you're in the UK, just don't vote for that knobhead Boris. Really, what he's doing is just insane. It's like, I don't know. Look shit up. I mean, yeah. So I'll leave my political rant, and this guitar might tell you which colour if you're in Scotland I would say vote SNP. Rock and roll.